of poetry over the past couple of days. Last week, you worked on haikus and metaphors and another type of figurative language called similes. And when we add all of these features to our poetry, it makes it exciting and colorful. And last week, we talked about the fact that poetry and music have a lot in common. They have a lot of symbolism. Everybody say symbolism. Awesome. So remember, symbolism is when you have an object and it could be a rose with thorns, perhaps. And that could symbolize the fact that the rose is beautiful, but then there are also thorns too. So maybe there are hard times. There were some friends who read Esperanza Rising last year, and that was one of the main pieces of symbolism. And also from our story at the beginning of the year, where we had Keck and he had his cow. There was a lot of symbolism of the cow in his culture in Africa. It showed wealth and it showed prosperity. So in poetry, we're going to be seeing a lot of symbolism as well. So keep your eye out for that. Today, we are going to be learning all about couplets. Everybody say couplet. Now, when I look at the word couplet, I see a root word here that looks like couple. How many are a couple? Awesome. Yeah. A couple are two. So a couplet is actually a pair of lines that rhyme in poetry. Now, sometimes those two lines are going to have the same number of syllables. Typically, that's what you're going to have. Now, you will see some poetry today that do not have the same number of syllables within the lines, but it still is going to be a couplet because it's a pair of lines and they rhyme. You have to make sure that when you're doing a couplet, you are rhyming. Now, a couplet can be serious. It could also be funny. A lot of times, couplets are very silly. Now, typically, when you see poetry that rhymes, remember we talked about last week, it does not have to rhyme. But when you do see poetry that rhymes, typically it's going to be a bunch of couplets all together. Okay, so you've got a short couplet here. Let's read this together. April showers bring May flowers. So you have two lines and they rhyme. Showers and flowers. Let's see if they have the same amount of syllables. April showers, that's 4. Bring May flowers. Yep, so this one matches as well. They have the same number of syllables. Couplets can be put together into longer poems. So this is what I was talking about. You see a lot of this in Dr. Seuss's books, and you see a lot of this in nursery rhymes. So this well-known poem is made by joining two couplets. So these two lines is a couplet, and these two lines is a couplet. So each couplet represents a stanza. Remember, a stanza is made up of 4 lines. We learned that last week when we were learning about poetry characteristics. So let's read this one together. Humpty Dumpty sat on a wall. Humpty Dumpty had a great fall. All the king's horses and all the king's men couldn't put Humpty together again. So this is, like I said, 2 sets of couplets that come together in order to form a stanza. And a stanza is how many lines? Excellent, 4. Now let's go ahead and take a look at this poem down here. There is a student who was thinking very hard, and she ended up coming up with a poem that was made up of 5 couplets. So that means there should be 10 lines if we multiplied 5 times 2. So let's read hers together. Tulips are blooming and the weather is warm. It's officially too hot for a winter storm. Okay, that's one couplet. The sun is shining and the breeze is blowing. It's slightly too hot for it to start snowing. There's your second couplet. Birds soar through the sky and dart through the trees. Butterflies drink nectar as well as the bees. There's your third. Trees are budding and animal babies hatch. Joyfully I water my flower patch. That's your fourth. And then here's your last couplet. I dash outside and instantly hear a ring. The exuberant, beautiful chime of spring. And this is the season that we are in right now, so I thought that would be perfect. Everybody say exuberant. Awesome. Awesome. Exuberant is filled with energy and happiness and joyfulness. So you can tell that even this piece of poetry has a mood to it, doesn't it? Do you think that this person enjoys springtime? Yeah, why do you think that? Awesome, awesome. You can see a lot of words in here that show us that this person likes spring because of the words like exuberant and beautiful, birds soaring, the sun is shining. All of those things bring happiness. Now, down here, I wanted to show you this piece of poetry from a children's book, and it is called Cocoon. The little caterpillar creeps a while before in silk it sleeps. It sleeps a while before it flies, and flies a while before it dies. And that's the end of 3 good tries. So here I have a post-it note for you that says how to write a couplet. So number 1, choose a topic and come up with your first line of your poem. Number 2, list some words that rhyme with the last word. And number 3, write the second line of your couplet. Make sure to use one of the rhyming words. So today, you're going to be looking at this slide that tells you about couplets. On this slide, you are going to be selecting a subject, and then you are going to write a line about that subject. Then you're going to list words that rhyme with the last word of your first line from right here. So if I typed in, let's see, a subject. Oh, I could do tulips. I love tulips. Okay, write a line about that subject. Tulips, I'm going to actually bring in a simile here, are as beautiful as a rainbow. And then I'm going to come down here and I am going to think of words that rhyme with rainbow. So bow, toe, I could write. So here I'm going to write in toe. I could write in crow, flow, like a river. I could even just say bow, like a hair bow. A doe, a female deer. Let's see. Bow, doe, toe, crow, flow, show. Ooh, what about grow? I could do grow because I'm talking about tulips. Okay, here. Use a rhyming word from above to create a second line in your poem. Okay, so tulips are as beautiful as a rainbow. And then here, tulips are as beautiful as a rainbow. That's 10 syllables. I'm going to see if I can match my syllables here. Let's see if we can do it, guys. Tulips are as beautiful as a rainbow. They, let's see. You sprinkle seeds, and soon they begin to grow. Let's see how many syllables that is. You sprinkle seeds, and soon they begin to grow. Oh, that's 11. And soon they grow. You sprinkle seeds, and soon they grow. That's only 8 syllables. That's okay. And guys, if you cannot match your syllables, that's fine too. I just wanted to stretch my thinking. So let's read this. Tulips are as beautiful as a rainbow. You sprinkle seeds and soon they grow. So you see, I rhymed rainbow and grow. So that would actually be my whole poem. So what I would do is I would come here and I would type that in. Tulips are as beautiful as a rainbow. You sprinkle seeds and soon they begin to grow. And then I'm going to come up with 2 more couplets here, guys, that you can add. And I could take crow and I could say, soon in spring you will see, or near the tulips you will see a crow next to water that begins to flow. So do you see what I'm doing? I'm creating an entire poem still about tulips, but I'm creating new couplets based on these rhymes that I did. And then down here, you can write kind of like your published copy of your couplet poem here. Okay, guys, I hope you have an awesome job with couplets today. I had a lot of fun with it, and I know that you guys will too. I will see you soon.